So, Phil, just to underscore this, the Badger is dead?
The Badger is dead, and it's not a surprise, Melissa.
Yeah.
They have not talked about the Badger here for several weeks. Once Trevor Milton was out, you knew that the Badger Electric was not going to be around much longer.
This is a deal that, frankly, is not significant. Nikola's not going to be anybody's best partner. They haven't delivered the way that people thought, and you want to hear that they kicked out Milton, but that has not happened. Instead, you heard what I would describe as being a not clear approach to who is still at that company.
Hey, I'm Stephen, and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So, wonderful news today. Once again, I was right. Yeah, I did just say that. What a great way to open up a video, you arrogant prick. But it's true. I've been calling this now for a number of weeks, maybe a few months. The Nikola Badger, which never existed, was always vaporware and solely existed to pump up the Nikola stock price, has officially been cancelled. And in fact, just as a bonus today, at the end of this video, I'm going to include one of my Nikola Badger videos just so you guys can see me forecasting exactly what just happened. The cancellation of this steaming pile of vaporware. So, let's get into the video. But first, hey guys, if you live in the US and you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 4 free stocks, check out the link in the description to Webull. If you open a new account, you'll get 2 free stocks between $2.50 and $250 each just for opening an account. And if you deposit $100, you'll get a further 2 free stocks valued between $8 and $1,600 each. That is an obnoxiously good return on your investment. I mean, really, deposit $100 and you'll end up with, at minimum, $21 worth of stocks, a 21% ROI on your money. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
I want to bring you some news on Nikola, which we are seeing spike in pre-market trade, up by about 10% right now. This just crossing. Nikola and GM have signed a memorandum of understanding. This supersedes that agreement that was announced back in September, in which GM would receive a $2 billion equity stake for contributing its battery technology and manufacturing the Badger pickup truck for Nikola. We don't know the terms of this deal, but a deal was signed, and that is important for shares of Nikola. There was a lot of concern that they wouldn't get that deal done, and this, of course, the timing is interesting. It comes on the day of the lockup expiration. JP Morgan estimates that as many as 161 million shares could be available to be sold today on the day of the lockup expiration. So this one is one to watch, but we are seeing right now Nikola shares up by 8% on this news, Joe.
Just one quick correction here. CNBS made a slight error, but an important one. The insider share lockup period ends tomorrow, December 1st, not today. That's when we can expect insiders to begin dumping shares. To me, this almost appears like Nikola, the company, and GM have said, hey, Trevor Milton, go fuck yourself, mate. Guess what? We're going to announce there's no Badger the day before you can sell your shares, so the shares tank, meaning that you're selling them for far less than they would have been worth if we had have held out for a few more days to make this announcement. Sucked in, mate. I could be wrong, but I mean, of all the things that could have happened, really, the day before they announced that there's a no Badger deal, really? Surely that's not a coincidence. As I record this, Tesla stock continues on its way to Mars, and Nikola stock is headed towards, what's the opposite of Mars? The center of the Earth? Hell, what if we go down far enough? And I don't even know. The point is, Nikola stock down over 20% on the back of this news before Trevor can sell any of his shares. Sucked in, mate.
We told you Nikola signed an agreement with GM. We're learning more now. GM will no longer take that $2 billion equity stake in Nikola. This deal no longer includes the Badger pickup truck. Phil LeBeau joins us on the Squawk Newsline. So what does it include, Phil?
Well, it calls for a memorandum of understanding, which means they're going to work together with General Motors providing the Hydrotech technology for hydrogen fuel cell semi-trucks that Nikola is developing and hopes to have testing by the end of next year, and then in a beta form a little bit after that, and then potentially also some of the Ultium battery technology could be used for battery electric semi-trucks Nikola is designing for the future as well. You notice the shares of Nikola, they're down more than 6%. This deal was always far more important to Nikola than it was to General Motors. And you can tell by this agreement being reached with GM, while it doesn't take an equity stake in Nikola, it basically gets out of this agreement that really was not going to work out very well for them by basically saying, look, we'll provide the technology for you. Here's a customer who can help us get scale for our Hydrotech technology. But beyond that, Nikola is going back to the drawing board in terms of what it's planning to do. It's going to be focusing now on the hydrogen fuel cell semis and the battery electric semis. And those were always the most important vehicles. The electric pickup truck, the Badger, that was the vision of Trevor Milton. And that was something that was never high on the priority list with General Motors. I think they looked at it and they said, sure, we'll get some scale here for building this potentially. The fact that that's going away, not a huge surprise here.
I think Phil has a fair point here. I doubt too many people with functioning grey matter who actually thought about this for more than 3 quadrillionths of a second actually believe the Nikola Badger was ever going to be released. But hey, some people did actually reserve these things, so apparently you can get your deposits back, so make sure you go chase that money down ASAP.
But you look at shares of Nikola down more than 6% now that they have essentially come up with a new agreement with General Motors.
So, Phil, just to underscore this, the Badger is dead?
The Badger is dead, and it's not a surprise, Melissa.
Yeah.
They have not talked about the Badger here for several weeks. Once Trevor Milton was out, you knew that the Badger Electric was not going to be around much longer.
Right, and you mentioned GM and what it meant for Nikola versus GM. It could have been, though, it could have been sort of a black eye for Mary Barra, though, correct? I mean, if they had gone through
Absolutely.
Right? Them coming out of this is maybe not a surprise. I'm surprised that they even have some sort of agreement still.
Well, I think they look at this and say, hey, here's a customer for our hydrogen fuel cell technology. We're happy to work with them. And who knows, maybe Nikola's hydrogen fuel cell semis take off. I mean, we're a ways from finding out if that's the case. They're just going into testing. They'll be testing them by the end of next year. That market is still developing. Someday you could look back on this and you could say, hey, this hydrogen fuel cell semi from Nikola is a big hit. Or you could look back on it and say, well, that was an interesting idea and it never really panned out.
Guys, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Yes or no? Do you think Nikola's hydrogen trucks will pan out? Will they be successful? Or is this company going to ultimately collapse and the technology is a dead end?
Jim Cramer joins us now to talk all about it. What do you do? What do you do with a Nikola? What do you do even with a GM?
Well, look, I think that there's a lockup expiration. The numbers that they're selling are much fewer than they could. And a lot of that, I mean, Trevor Milton's not going to sell nearly as much as I thought.
I just have to jump in here quickly. It seems like CNBC widely and erroneously believes that today was the end of the insider share lockup and they're expecting to see more shares hitting the market. That will be tomorrow, so just please keep this in mind. I think everyone at CNBC is misinformed about this.
But what I kind of felt from that interview, there was just such resistance to even talking about the idea that there could be something good going on. Now, this is a deal that, frankly, is not significant. And I know that people don't want to hear that. There's a lot of people in Nikola hoping that this is the big score. It's just not the big score, Andrew. It's not like Mary Barra said, you know what, I really like this technology very much. And I think some of that is because the company has not particularly been the kind of company that GM wants to ally with. How about that? I think that's fair. Perhaps many people think it was ill-advised if they went with Nikola full bore. So they have this deal, and the deal's kind of an asterisk deal. I don't think Mary Barra wanted to be able to say, hey, listen, I'm Nikola's best partner, because Nikola's not going to be anybody's best partner. They haven't delivered the way that people thought. And you want to hear that they kicked out Milton, but that has not happened. Instead, you heard kind of what I would describe as being a not clear approach to who is still at that company. I want to hear how much Trevor's selling, and then we'll be able to make a better determination. But to me, it's not a buy.
So Jim Cramer there suggesting Nikola stock isn't a buy? Not surprised. In fact, I've been trying to explain, obnoxiously and abrasively, but hey, sometimes you need to get through to people, that Nikola stock itself has been a large-scale distributed IQ test that many investors appear to be failing. Shout out to Nikola stock, currently down over 23% as I record this. And now, as promised, we're going to wind the clock back about 2 months to when I posted a video picking apart the steaming pile of vaporware known as the Nikola Badger, and in no uncertain terms, stating that I personally believe this thing would never be released, it solely existed as CGIs and only was created to pump up the Nikola stock price again, in my opinion. Now, the whole point of doing this isn't to be an arrogant prick, but hey, if I keep predicting stuff about the future, and then those events unfold exactly as predicted, Kind of worth reminding you guys sometimes, helps with the credibility. I am kind of batting 1,000 right now. I don't expect this track record to continue forever, but hey, each time a ball clears the fence, I'm going to remind you guys. See you in the next video.
What's up, world? Did you know that the future is now? Transportation is changing forever. Trucks are never going to be the same. In fact, what we're about to tell you might just be some of the most groundbreaking historical information that you'll ever hear.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. If you're Nikola Motor Corporation, don't even think about it. So in this video, which falls under fair use, is strictly my own opinion, so please do your own research. Everything I say could be completely wrong. I might also be extremely high, so that is a possibility. I'm going to be discussing some promotional clips recently released by Nikola Motor Corporation regarding the Nikola Badger, the most exciting, amazing truck the world's ever seen, but it hasn't actually seen it yet. So let's get into the video.
Transportation is changing forever. Trucks are never going to be the same. In fact, what we're about to tell you might just be some of the most groundbreaking historical information that you'll ever hear. I'm Heavy D, and as you may know,
I got fined nearly $1 million because I was helping to modify vehicles in such a way that polluted the environment so much it was absurd. And now I'm obviously a great partner for this company, Nikola Motors, with this clean energy, zero emissions future that they've been harping on about because that's what Tesla did and they want to catch some Tesla investors. And allegedly, in my opinion, do your own research. Let's continue.
it's safe to say I know a thing or two about trucks.
Just in case any of you missed that, Heavy D is a proud shareholder of Nikola stock, which might make him the sole proud shareholder of Nikola stock on Earth, in my opinion.
Which is why, when my longtime friend, founder and executive chairman of Nikola Motor Company, Trevor Milton, approached me and said, "Hey, Heavy D,
I've got a big bag of cash with your name on it.
Let's build the world's best pickup truck." You can imagine I was a tad skeptical. But now, my eyes have been opened. I've seen the technology.
That must make Heavy D the sole person on planet Earth who has seen the technology that Nikola allegedly doesn't have any of, hence the GM deal and so on. In my opinion, do your own research, blah, and blah, blah, blah.
I've seen the process, and I can tell you right now that what he says about this being a different animal is a total understatement.
You can't even make this shit up. I think the only understatement I've heard Trevor Milton make publicly was cowards run, leaders stay and fight. And you guys know how that one worked out, don't you?
I'm Trevor Milton. I'm the founder and executive chairman of Nikola Motor Company. We pioneered the electric semi-truck. And now we're pioneering the most advanced electric pickup truck the world has ever seen. This is truly a different animal.
That animal is the Nikola Badger.
The Nikola Badger is unlike any truck in existence.
Man, Trevor is throwing so many softballs I can't maintain my composure. Yes, the Badger, a truck that isn't in existence, certainly is unlike any truck that is in existence. Well played, Trevor. It's a fair point.
Let me be the first to tell you that this man is not exaggerating. This man is not exaggerating. This man is not exaggerating.
So I wanted to bring the DNA of all the customers into this truck, and who better than you guys to help get that following, that social media following.
For those of you who don't know, Trevor Milton has very publicly stated the entire reason that they developed the Nikola Badger CGIs was to lure in or attract, or I'm not sure what he said in his exact terminology, please do your own research, words to this effect, was to bring in the retail investors into the Nikola stock because otherwise they'd never care about the company. And now we're hearing about this, which, spoiler alert, I think this entire promotional video was actually to bring in some more of those retail investors to pump the stock. Just between you and me, anything could be possible, but that's my opinion.
A truck for the people, by the people.
No doubt for that, no doubt.
The Badger journey starts now. We're gonna pull back the curtains and show you everything we've got.
Hell yeah, can't wait to see the Badger. Bring it out, boys.
This is a journey that we're all going on together. And the best part is, you can now reserve one of these Badger trucks for yourself.
I noticed that they didn't show the truck after they said that they were going to show us everything they've got. But they did tell us that you can pre-order the Badger though, that's very important. Go pre-order your Badger. Make sure that they've got some revenue for their future legal fees when the whole company falls apart, in my opinion. Do your own research, blah, fucking blah, blah, blah.
No matter who you are, what lifestyle you live, the Nikola Badger is truly for you.
That's right. No matter who you are, no matter what your needs, the Nikola Badger is the truck for you. Go pre-order now. Nikola.com/you're not going to get your money back. Don't do it.
I mean, to be able to win over a skeptic like Heavy D with the Diesel brothers
was very expensive.
That's a tough achievement. First time a zero emission platform can actually outperform, outrange, out-efficient a diesel platform.
So not only can Trevor Milton out Elon, but the Badger can out efficient its competition. Awesome.
Look, talk is cheap. We can sit here and tell you about all these great ideas all day long, but specs, well, they don't lie.
This is breathtakingly ironic. Yes, talk is cheap, and that's all Nikola Motors have done from day one. All talk, no walk. However, the specs don't lie. Yeah, totally. No prototype exists. All we've seen is computer-generated images. Won't go into production for a few years. They haven't even got a partner produce the thing. We've since heard about the GM deal. They don't have any of their own... Blah, blah, blah. No, yeah, we can definitely rely on these specs. Please tell us more, Heavy D, about these specs that don't lie, about this unreleased product that's coming to market in the future with the disclaimer that the specs may change before it gets to market. Read the reservation page, do your own research, allegedly, blah, 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 blah. Let me know in the comments below. Do you believe the Nikola Badger specs will live up to the hype when it enters production? Actually, I've got a better question. Do you believe the Nikola Badger will ever enter production? Wait, you know what? I've got an even better question. Do you believe Nikola Motor Corporation will even be in existence by the time the Badger is scheduled, 2022, to enter production?
That's why the Badger has a very impressive list of features and capabilities that nobody else has.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Please tell me more.
Just for fun, let's compare one of the most popular trucks on the market.
Now, might be my imagination here, but I think old mate Heavy Dong here is actually looking at his notes periodically. I mean, nothing wrong with doing that, but I thought, this kind of promotional video, they're trying to say, nice tight bond, etc. You'd think that with the editing, they could be a little bit tighter and just not make it obvious that he's like reading the specs. Watch, you'll notice.
Just for fun, let's compare one of the most popular trucks on the market, the Ford Raptor, to the Nikola Badger. Hey Trevor, I'm the Raptor. I got 450 horsepower.
I got 906 with the Nikola Badger.
Okay, well, I've got 510 foot-pounds of torque.
I got 980 foot-pounds of torque. Double again.
Okay, well, as the Raptor, I've got an approach angle of 25.5 degrees.
The Nikola Badger's got an approach angle of 35 degrees. And not only that, we can take up to 48 inches of
I was going to make a very inappropriate joke there, but I'm just going to let this one slide.
Water without affecting anything in the truck.
As you can see, these are not apples to apples. The Nikola Badger is a whole new animal in a league of its own.
Well, I can't argue with that point. The Nikola Badger certainly is in a league of its own, also known as the league of totally made up bullshit specs that don't actually exist. It's a fucking CGI, guys. You've got to be kidding me. It's all bullshit, in my personal opinion. Do your own research, allegedly, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill by now.
The Nikola Badger comes in two different options, both fully loaded. One is the battery electric version that starts at about 60, and the other one's the hydrogen fuel cell version, which starts at about 90.
It's impressive. It is. I don't know what else to say.
I'll tell you what's impressive. The fact that people are still buying Nikola stock and the company's worth like $9 billion today as I record this. And by the way, I just want to be super clear regarding this Dave dude. I'm not implying, I do not believe that he has any idea what's going on behind the scenes at Nikola. My suspicion is they went, hey, what's up, Dave? We want some of your street cred. Come here. We'll throw you a few beans, bit of cash, bit of stock, whatever. Here's some tech. Look, there's a battery pack on a bench. See? Here's a video of our truck rolling down a hill under its own propulsion. See? Totally legit. Here's a prototype. Totally legit. Great. Cool. Let's go.
One of the funnest parts now is you get to track your Badger. This allows you to go behind the scenes, behind the curtains, and over the next few months, what we're going to do is we're going to be leaking a few videos.
I know it's a bit finicky, but the term leaking just kind of didn't sit right with me. Things that leak are like inappropriate conversations where you're trying to coerce friends of yours to sleep with random men for a few $1,000s, those types of things. By the way, I'm not making any allegations, that was just a random example. Stuff that you don't want out is typically what I think of when stuff leaks, not stuff that you're intentionally putting out into the marketplace.
That don't give everything away, but give you a lot of really fun content to follow. You get to see how the truck was designed. You get to see how the interior was designed. And we're putting it all together for you guys.
So hypothetically, just hypothetically, guys, purely hypothetically, let's just ask the question. If your goal was to create a product that would entice and lure in retail investors who got excited about your stock, people that either hate Tesla or miss the boat in their mind, they think they can't buy Tesla stock because it's already gone up a lot. If your goal was to attract the attention of these types of retail investors, the Robinhood investor, so they say, that kind of a crowd, into your company, into your stock. And if your intent was solely to do this to elevate your stock price and not really to actually make the product because it makes sense for your business model, but solely to draw in these investors, would it be a reasonable strategy to drip feed information about this incredible, mind-blowing, almost unbelievably spec'd vehicle, the Badger. Would that not be a reasonable strategy if your goal was to just pump the stock price and you didn't really intend on potentially ever releasing this vehicle? And maybe you do, but if the primary goal is to pump the stock price, would that be a fair strategy? Would holding events like Nikola World be a reasonably effective strategy to generate more hype, more media coverage, and get more retail investors, unsuspecting retail investors, involved in your stock? Just asking the hypothetical question. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below.
After Nikola World, we're going to start running the Nikola Badger testing all over America. This allows us to get a lot of content. Soon you'll be seeing thousands of Badgers all over the road, and I couldn't be more excited to hand deliver a lot of them.
In December of this year, we're going to give you a chance to see the Nikola Badger in person.
December 3rd, 4th, and 5th is when Nikola World goes down.
Wait, you mean that Nikola World coincidentally falls onto the same month that a bunch of your existing shareholders finally are able to sell their stocks because their lockup agreement ends and they can get out of this fucking stock? What a coincidence. And hey, I've got to give some hypothetical credit here. If, just for example, that this situation, lots of insiders are able to sell their shares starting December 3rd, allegedly, do your own research. If that was the case, what better way to ensure that not only is the stock up at that point of time, but given that all these insiders may potentially be selling their stock, lots of stock going to the market, right, driving prices of the stock down, and that might take a few days to dump all of that stock because you can't do it in a single day. Your stock will literally crater. It's just insane. You've got to do this over a period of time. What better way to counter that downward force on the stock price than to have a 3-day hype train event to cause all those silly retail investors who don't actually know what the hell they're doing to go buy Nikola stock at the same time that insiders are dumping a lot of it. Hypothetically, that would be a pretty damn smart play. One slight problem, however. We'll cover that one soon.
That's when the world gets to see the Badger for the very first time. And December 5th is the public day and ride and drive. This is when we're going to do some fun stuff with these trucks. And most likely, even though Heavy D is going to try to help us prevent these trucks from breaking, we're probably going to break one. Why? We're going to do some fun side-by-side comparisons. And the goal here is to show you how real that truck is.
And our goal here is to show you how real that truck is. That's a very interesting thing to say, Trevor. Especially given the stuff that's come to light recently from Hindenburg research regarding the real truck that wasn't a pusher, that had to be, well, not pushed, but towed up a hill and then rolled down under the propulsion of gravity, not its own powertrain, gravity, to get to the bottom of the hill, released as the Nikola 1 in motion, which, as we know, turned out to, in my opinion, and pretty much everyone who comprehends the English language's opinion, in my opinion, complete and utter bullshit. Misleading, deceptive, and just dishonest.
Now let me explain to you why you should reserve one of these Nikola Badgers right now. A,
we need the stock to still be up in December.
You'll get to see the Nikola Badger in person at Nikola World in December of this year. B,
we need to hire a social media expert who can illegally take down videos on YouTube claiming we have copyrighted content that they're using that doesn't fall under fair use and try and silence our critics and later be called out for it and then suddenly have to retract and go, oops, why did we do that? Now everyone's looking at us again. Why did we do that?
You will have a chance to win a Nikola Badger. All reservation holders automatically get entries to win one of the very first Badgers off the assembly line.
Dude, I'm so hyped. Are you hyped? I'm hyped.
And C,
we need all the money from the pre-order deposit so that we can put that aside for our future litigation fees.
You get to hang out with this guy and that guy. And we will literally be bumping shoulders, hanging out, talking trucks, and preparing to change the world with this insanely cool vehicle.
Now, it's definitely unlike Trevor Milton to overpromise and underdeliver, but I do wonder now, is Trevor Milton going to be present at Nikola World? For one, Nikola World has been postponed into the future now. Here's my theory on that, just totally my opinion. Hypothetical, I might have made this up, I'm definitely still high. It's possible that Nikola was planning this event with the hope that they'd push it out. Remember, this video was from the 10th of July, so it's about 3 months ago, still a couple of months until December. Maybe the idea here was to hype a little bit, then get an OEM partner, a legacy automaker, to make you a prototype to have at Nikola World, a prototype, and now you can reveal a little bit more. Maybe that was the plan, but unfortunately, the deal, the announcement, the partnership with General Motors and Nikola to build the Badger, it's on hold. They're still negotiating after a few things hit the press that weren't very positive for Nikola at all. Just, yeah. Understatement of the century. Of course, they can conveniently blame COVID for the delay in Nikola World. It's got nothing to do with the fact that they don't have a real truck yet, because it's not a real truck yet, in my opinion. And now the OEM partner that they were hoping to lock in beforehand by giving away a huge chunk of the company in a massive how could you say no type of deal is still being negotiated, and they can't show the badger. Oh, it's handy about that COVID thing, isn't it? We'll just delay it indefinitely because of COVID. Right. So Tesla managed to have their shareholders meeting. They figured it out. You've been hyping this event for a long time on December. I mean, you've been promising it's coming. World gets to see the badger in December, and then it's delayed. It would have been great to somehow deliver on your promise.
Unlike some other companies, we don't use your deposit money to actually develop our vehicles. We're going to set that money aside in an account,
And you'll never see it again.
never touch it, and allow that money to be completely secure for you.
Man, is it just me, or is this guy really projecting a little bit too hard? I mean, first with the real truck crap, you guys have seen that if you've been following the channel, or the Nikola saga over the last few months. And in addition to that, it's almost like he's inferring, unlike other companies, the money that you give us, the deposit that you put down for your pre-order with us, it's not at risk of disappearing because we're not going to use it for developing our product, unlike the other companies.
You can cancel all the way up until the date that your truck begins the assembly process.
Let me recap. This truck is fast. This truck is powerful. This truck is sexy, and we're giving you a chance to win one. Go to NikolaMotor.com and reserve your Badger today.
Well, I don't know what else to say. You guys make up your own mind what's going on here. I just thought that I'd put this out here. Once again, I want to be very clear. This video is my opinion only. Do your own research. Everything I said might be completely wrong. Footage that I use from Nikola is also appearing under fair use law, so don't even try it, Nikola. And I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you live in the US and you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 4 free stocks, check out the link in the description to Webull. If you open a new account, you'll get 2 free stocks between $2.50 and $250 each just for opening an account. And if you deposit $100, you'll get a further 2 free stocks valued between $8 and $1,600 each. And if you're in Australia, the UK or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. PS, if you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.